This is One Fat Boy. Here are my March Madness tournament complete bracket predictions as we're going through each region, then going over the final four. So for the West region, I have Gonzaga going all the way to the final four, but I'll start with the round of 64 and go round by round. So, see Gonzaga winning against the 16th seed, no problem. Lean towards Memphis, as I just see them as a more basketball school over Boise State. And I think Memphis will give Gonzaga a run for their money. I see New Mexico State matching up pretty well against UConn, but I can also see if you are choosing UConn like they are a basketball school, they will show up for a tournament like they always seem to do well in the tournament. So can't count them out, but I think New Mexico State will give them a run for their money. Vermont has been a pretty popular upset pick, so I will be going with them as they are older team and with a lot of three-point shooting, as three-point shooting can, if you get hot, that helps you win games, helps you get deeper in the tournament. For Rutgers at Alabama, well, hasn't been decided yet, but I am leaning towards Rutgers, and even if Notre Dame does win, I still have like either of them win against Alabama's. Both of them match up pretty well against Alabama, and Alabama's kind of like hit or miss as of late. They have been missing a lot lately, and I do see that continue into the tournament. Texas Tech, I see this as like the second best team in the West region, so I see them win against Montana State, no problem. Michigan State and Davidson, this is kind of a coin flip, but I think better program of Michigan State. Tom Izzo will make the adjustments, get his team in line, get them through that first game. And then Duke should be able to win against a 15 seed. They have lost to a 15 seed before, and if there is a 2 seed, I do see losing to a 15 seed. I will say it is Duke this year, but I don't see it this year. Alright, then Gonzaga should be able to beat Memphis. I think Memphis will actually give Gonzaga a run for their money, but Gonzaga will pull it out at the end. We lean towards New Mexico State against Vermont, but between these two, kind of a toss-up, as this is kind of like a buffer in case like UConn does win. You can also just choose UConn there too, but I can see Vermont winning, like if it is a 12-13 matchup, but if it's UConn there, then I see UConn going playing Gonzaga. Then Texas Tech, I see them winning against Rutgers/Notre Dame, like more complete team Texas Tech is. They'll be able to take advantage of like the weaknesses of Rutgers and Notre Dame. And then Duke and Michigan State, I think Duke will figure it out and beat like kind of like mid-tier Michigan State team. But I can also see Michigan State get an upset against Duke here too, as Duke has been pretty upset prone lately. So I can take Michigan State here, but I think Texas Tech and Gonzaga, they're just gonna be in the Elite Eight. Like, this is the most obvious one. I feel like if you're choosing Elite Eight out of all these teams, like this should be the most common one that you come up with. Now for the East region, so I have Baylor and Norfolk State. Well, Baylor should win, no problem. Their zone defense is hard to crack. I have North Carolina, but I can also see Marquette winning here too, but I think North Carolina, that win over Duke recently, that'll be kind of like a boost for them. But I can see either of these teams winning and then giving Baylor a run for their money, but I think just the Baylor zone defense is kind of what keeps them in the tournament every year and has them go deep. For St. Mary's and Indiana, I think St. Mary's, because they have played well against Gonzaga, like they won against Gonzaga and led for a half against Gonzaga. It's going to be hard to beat them in this tournament. So I don't see a 12 seed knocking out St. Mary's. Then UCLA, I see this as probably the best team in this bracket, but in this region, but I do see this region as probably the weakest region out of the four. They should be able to handle Akron. Then Virginia Tech, since they won their tournament, ACC tournament, I see them going pretty deep, as they're going to be tough to bounce out, that's for sure, especially for an 11 seed. Then Purdue, I think they're going to have a tough time with Yale, as for some reason the Ivy League schools, when they get to these tournaments, like they'll win one game sometimes, but they always give the team that they're matched up with like real tough time. And then Murray State, San Francisco. I was leaning towards Murray State, but either of these teams are quality teams. You can go with either. But it's going to be tough for them to beat Kentucky overall, as Kentucky, a lot of talent every year, hard to beat. And back up top, yeah, it's like Baylor should be able to knock it out, either 8 or 9 seed. UCLA gave like Arizona a run for their money, so I see them like giving each team that they come across like a run for the money, or like have them running away from them. It's like UCLA is the favorite in this region through my eyes. I think Virginia Tech will beat Purdue, as Purdue's kind of iffy, I feel like. They always show up to the tournament and can't get past like this round of 32 mark like consistently. Then Kentucky, I see them handling whatever like 7 or 10 seed shows up. And then for Virginia Tech and Kentucky, I can see Virginia Tech winning here too. But I think a lot of people are going to be choosing Kentucky, as it's like the safer bet. It's like it's more consistent product. And then Baylor, UCLA, I think Baylor will fail to deal with UCLA, because UCLA has been playing the Pac-12. I think Pac-12 has a lot of quality teams like Arizona, like even Colorado is pretty good. And I just see them beating Baylor and UCLA advancing to the Final Four. For the South region, so as I see, Arizona handles 16 seed no problem. Seton Hall, this is a real toss-up game, but I see Seton Hall more often in the tournament than TCU, so hence why I'm going with Seton Hall. Houston, after a Final Four run last year, they have some similar components to last year, so I see them as probably like the best 5 seed. Like, I think this 5 seed is like almost guaranteed to beat their 12 seed. It's like there's always like one 12 seed that does win. It's not going to be UAB. Illinois has like one of the best players in college basketball, so I think just having that star power should be able to take care of Chattanooga no problem. Michigan State, the favored 11 seed, I think will win against Colorado State, but if Colorado State like makes their shots, like win games how they've been winning all season, Michigan will have a run for their money. I wouldn't be surprised if Colorado State does win. But either of those teams are going to meet Tennessee, and they're going to have a bad time. Like, Tennessee is just going to win. Then Loyola Chicago, Ohio State's not been consistent at all this year. And Loyola Chicago, always consistent in the tournament, so have to go with consistency there. Then Villanova, they're a basketball school, a tournament team. Can't bet against them. Villanova in the round 32. I see them being Chicago too, Loyola Chicago. But when they get to Tennessee, like I see Tennessee meeting them here, I think Tennessee is going to beat Villanova, as they're coming in this tournament hot. Then Houston, this is where I see like a kind of a small upset. I do see Houston taking down Illinois, as they have like similar quotes to last year, and I see them as like very strong 5 seed. And Arizona, it's going to be hard to beat Arizona. It's like full complete team. Like, these are, when I watch them, they're big, they got good guards, and then like whole team is involved, so a lot of components that you have to slow down. So Arizona, I see them advancing, getting to the Final Four. I think Tennessee will match up pretty well, but I think Arizona's they're just kind of built different. And then for the Midwest region, so Kansas, I see them winning their first game, but it's like the path that they have to go through to get to the Elite Eight is going to be hard for them. San Diego State matches up really well against Creighton. Like, Creighton does not match up well against, so San Diego State should get here. Then very strong defense against a high-powered offense. I'm going to go with San Diego State with the defense and see them advancing. Then Iowa, 12 seed. I think Richmond, I can see an upset, but the way Iowa's been playing, I think Iowa will win in a close game. And then South Dakota State, this is like very popular 13 seed being a 4 seed, probably the most popular one. If I did not mention the Vermont one, yeah, it's like, for some reason the 4 seeds, like Providence and Arkansas, their 13 seed was like the worst possible matchup that they could get. And I see San Diego State winning. Iowa State, I think, handles LSU. So I do see them as a basketball school. Colgate, if they get going from 3, they can take down Wisconsin. USC, Pac-12 team. Pac-12 has been playing well in tournaments, so I'm just having faith in the Pac-12. But Auburn, I think Auburn has the easiest path to Elite 8 out of all these teams. So, because likely they'll have to go through USC, which I think they can handle. And then if they have to play like an 11 or 14 seed in the Sweet 16, if both these upsets happen, I think Auburn, just with like more star power, should be able to deal with like a lower seeded team. But obviously, it's like if you're a lower seeded team in the Sweet 16, that means you got something going. But if that team can adapt and like extinguish the thing that you have hot, that higher seeded team is going to blow you out. Then back up here for Kansas and San Diego State, it's like betting on defense to win here. Iowa just to continue just being hot, they'll outshoot South Dakota State. And then I think if San Diego State is one of the top defenses in the country, I think they'll be able to slow down Iowa too. So it's like this whole upper region right here, I see as probably the most random out of all like the one-seeded ones, as you have top defense in San Diego State, really hot team in Iowa, and then South Dakota State. They've been really hot too. But once you get to Auburn, I think Auburn, whoever gets here, Auburn's just going to beat. And then look at the Final Four. So we got Gonzaga at UCLA. I think this will be actually a very close game. I wouldn't be surprised if UCLA wins, but I think Gonzaga, if they don't win this year, well, they're always going to have, it's not the NBA, but they're always going to have a good team. It's hard to bet against Gonzaga, so I do see them in the final game. Then Arizona, complete team. It's going to be really hard to beat Arizona. Like, they have to beat themselves. But when it comes to the final game, I'm going with Arizona. Should be a good game overall. But I think Arizona this year, they have great front court, great back court, and then how they've been playing on their offense. Like, it's not just passed around the 3-point line to uncontested three. Like, no, there's cuts. Like, there's one-on-one basketball. It's like it is good quality basketball all around. Thank you for watching. As always, go through all the resources online, as I'm just one source, just giving my thoughts on the games, explore every resource, and try and make the best bracket possible.